Hi, this is Vicki with My Paper Connection. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in the United States. And look, y'all, what a great card. I love this card. And I can't wait to make it for you. It is made from the Jar of Flowers stamp set and the punch, and then I just fussy cut around those. And these papers, oh my word. I think they're called In Good Taste papers. I love the stonework and the wood and then this Rococco rose. I love everything about this. Okay, I think that's all the preliminary stuff I wanted to say. Although I will tell you that during the month of July, bonus days are coming, so every $50 that you purchase out of the catalog, then you get a $5 bonus coupon. How awesome is that? And you'll get to spend those in August. So, without further ado, let me get started playing. For my project, I am using a Sahara Sand card base, and it is 5.5 by 8.5 and scored at 4 1/4. You don't have to worry about the dimensions or anything. They will be listed in my blog for this particular card, and my website will be listed at the top of the screen. For the next piece, I will be using Bumblebee. This is 4 1/8 by 5 3/8, and then I'm going to layer it with Whisper White, which is 4 by 5 1/4. As I mentioned before, I'm using the In Good Taste Designer Series paper. Goodness, I can't talk today. And this particular piece is 3 1/2 by 3 3/4. I'm just going to place this along the top up here. I brought in my mat because I keep getting glue on my tabletop and I don't want to do that. So I can easily clean this off and it not be affected. This is an in color strip of DSP. Well, let me start over. This is the Rococco rose color of the 2019-2021 in color DSP, and it is 1 1/4 by 3 3/4. I have to look at my notes, and I'm trying to do better about providing you with the sizes while I'm talking to you. I basically just want to make sure that my margins are even, you know, like making sure that it's about the same amount down here as it is up there, and then making sure that they're even on the sides right here. And then the last piece of DSP I'll put down is the wood grain. It is also from the In Good Taste, and it's 1 1/4 by 3. Is it 1 1/4? No, it's 3/4 by 3 3/4. I knew it looked awful narrow to be 1 1/4. Okay, so just try to line up and cover up the pieces right in there. Okay. Alrighty, I'm going to set this to the side. Well, I guess I can go ahead and adhere this onto my card front, my other layer, and then onto my card base, and then we can get on with the stamping and all of that other fun stuff. My friend Dorothy says that I like lots of layers, and she is not wrong. I really do. Before I go on, I will tell you a little trick that I have learned, and that is when your hands get sticky, hand sanitizer. So I keep a little bit of that next to my desk area, and when my hands get sticky with glue, the alcohol in the hand sanitizer just cleans it right up. So nice little tip for you. The next thing that we're going to do is to stamp our mason jar, and I have to tell you, I love mason jars. I have a collection of them that were my grandmother's and my great-grandmother's, and I love them. Okay, so I got the ink off, I got the glue off, but then touched the ink. Go figure. Okay, so whenever you're going to use a punch, it's always a good idea to see which direction that you're going to punch. So you're going to, or that your image is going to be. So you'll place your paper in like this, and it'll scoot all the way down. So that means that you need your stamped image to be close to the bottom. I'm going to turn it over because I got messy fingers. So I'll just put that in there close to the bottom like that. Okay, before I cut it out, I'm going to add my stems, and I'm going to do some coloring. So you want, whenever you're doing this, you want the bottom where it's a little bit on the jagged side to be on the bottom, and you want the straight edge to go along the top. And you don't want to go over the line, but you want to be pretty close to it. I hope I didn't go over. I did a little bit, but I'm going to cover it. Okay, the next thing I'm going to do is to stamp my flower image. I'm going to place it right in here, like that. The next thing I'm going to do is to bring in the bottom part of the jar, and I'll show you how this works. Okay, so one side shows you the outline, but when you flip the stamp over, because they are two-sided, then it will show you this. Now that's too dark for me. So I'm just going to come in here, since I've stamped it off, I'm just going to come in here and do a second generation stamp, just like that. And that is perfect. I love that color. All right, that is all of our stamping. Okay, the next thing I'm going to do is to get my coloring done, and then we'll cut out and we'll put together and all of that to make this gorgeous card. Okay, so the technique I'm going to use is to start out with the light color, and then I will add dark in the different areas so that it just kind of pops, and then I'll blend it back together with the soft color. And I am using Daffodil Delight with a little Mango Melody for the flowers. I'm using Soft Suede for the center, not soft suede, yeah, soft suede, Granny Apple Green for the leaves and for the stems, and Rococco Rose for the flowers. And I'll tip the inside of the flower with a little bit of the Daffodil Delight. Okay, I'm going to get started, and if I have any comments to make, I will stop and I'll let you know. But other than that, I'm going to fast forward through it, okay? As you can see, I'm just going along the center lines, and then I'm just kind of going around the edges of the outline of one side of the leaf. I'm going to go back in with the light, and then I will follow it up with the dark Mango Melody. I need a new Daffodil Delight light, I think. Okay, now I'm going to bring in the Mango Melody, and I'm just going to go around the center of it right in here, just like this. Okay, the next colors I'm going to do are going to be the Granny Apple Green, and again, I'll start with the light. For this, these are such fine images, I'm just going to put a dot on them of color, and that will actually suffice on it. And I just added a little color, dark here and there for this one, and then I will blend it all together. Okay, and that little dot method is actually a great tip, because some pieces are so fine that it's hard to really get in there, and it really only takes a dot on those small pieces of the darker color, and then you can just blend them all together. If you do too much, it's going to overpower, the color will, and it'll take away and not allow the blends and the depth and all of that. So the next thing I'm going to do is to color the Rococco Rose flowers. Before I get too far into that, I wanted to make sure that I added my little yellow, my Mango Melody. And I'm doing just that dot again, and it really does help. I noticed I forgot this little piece right here. And I'll add another little dot to it. It's amazing how just that little piece can add depth and dimension to the color. Okay, let's do the center. Again, this is Soft Suede. I'm going to come in with the dark, and I'm going to just highlight those darker areas and do a few dots like that. Okay, that's got all of my coloring done. The next thing I'm going to do is to cut out my jar using my punch. There we go. And then I am going to cut this out. You'll notice that I did not color this particular flower, or that little floral piece. I didn't know what to color it for this. And I mean, I love it, but it was gonna make my flower arrangement larger than I wanted it to be. And I didn't want to add any other colors than the colors I already had. So I'm just gonna cut that off. So I'll fast forward while I fussy cut. The key to fussy cutting is keeping your elbow to the side of your waist and then turning your paper rather than turning your scissors. And you want to leave a little bit of margin around it so that it looks as if it had been cut out with a die. Now in this area where I'm cutting this off, you'll have to cut a little close to that so that you don't see the image that you cut off. And it's okay. I doubt that you can tell that I even did that there. No one, matter of fact, whenever I got ready to cut this out, or when I stamped this image actually, I forgot about that I had even cut that out because I made this card a couple of weeks ago. The next thing I'm going to do is to use my die from Well Written. I think that's the name of the dies. It may be Well Said, actually. And these are the new adhesive strips. I've cut off a piece of that, and what I'm going to do is to, I'm going to peel this off. I'll just do it while I'm talking to you, if I can get the back of it off. Here we go. That's convenient. Okay, I'm just going to put a piece here. I should have done the other piece, actually. I'll just trim this off. No, I'll just take this one. That's really nice how they just do a couple pieces here and there, because that's going to be plenty big. So what I'll do then is I will run this through the Big Shot, and when I do, it'll have adhesive on the back of it, and it'll make it really, really easy to attach. And I'm actually going to do it twice because I want it to really pop up off of the page. So I'll be right back with that. Okay, so when you're cutting these out, be mindful that there is a dot to the eye that you're going to want to make sure that you keep, and you don't lose those as you're punching everything out. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to peel the backing off of that adhesive strip, and I'm going to place it on top of the other one. Hopefully I can do it without getting my head in the camera and getting it on straight at the same time. This is a fun, here's another tip I'll give you. If you want to make your letters look shadowed, you can do like a darker color behind it and then a lighter color in the front, and then just offset it slightly, and you can end up making your words look as if they're shadowed. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get that strip off the back of that tiny little dot. I don't think I'm even going to try, to be honest with you. It's going to take a while. So what I'm going to do, here's another little tip for you. I'm going to take my Take Your Pick tool, and I'm going to turn it upside down. And then I'm just going to take the putty part and pick up that dot like that. Then I'm going to take a little tiny speck of glue and just, whoo, my hands are shaking, just dot it right there on top like that. And then I need to flip this over. That's going to be the hardest part, just flipping that over, right? And then I will take that, lay it down over it like that, and then just release it with another sharp object. Okay, I'm going to keep that on my fingertip, and then I'm just going to come back here and release the backing. It's always best to use take your pick tool to release that backing, or your pointy tool. And I'm going to place this right in the center down here, like that. Whoops, it didn't all come off. There we go. Okay, I'm going to place this right here, and I'm going to use my Take Your Pick tool again to just get that off my finger. It may have been best to just glue the first dot down. There we go. Perfect. The next thing I'm going to do is to bring my jar back in, and I'm going to place a little bit of the adhesive on it. And this is the new seal adhesive. And I'll talk more about that in a bit. But you'll just cut a little piece, put it across there, and then cut a little piece, cut it off like this. Part of that is going to be covered with your flowers, so you don't have to worry about that. Okay, so I'm going to just pull down and then kind of do a comma. And that's the way I found it best to be able to keep the adhesive from sucking it back up in there. And it is extra strong adhesive, and I really like it. Now that I kind of figured out, there was a little bit of a learning curve because it is definitely different than the snail, but it's stronger than snail. And as long as you pull down lightly and then kind of do a little, for me, a comma. I tried the check and it just didn't quite do what I wanted it to do, but when I do the comma, it worked perfectly. Okay, so I'm getting all twisted and cattywampus here. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do is to use dimensionals. I'm just going to pop up my flower. I love using my Take Your Pick tool to take the backings off the dimensional. Okay, then you're just going to set it up to where you come right about down to the lace. I think what I'll do is to trim up on this where it has a little bit of an angle. Okay. And the last thing I'll do is to add some sequins. These are the woven thread sequins assortment that carried over from the last catalog. Woo, I almost had a disaster there. Explosion. Okay. And I'm going to use only the larger ones in this. So I'm going to flip those over. And I'm using the ones that are more iridescent pink. And I'm going to use my glue dot. I'm just going to stick it down on top of the glue dot as even as possible with my putty end. And then I'm just going to kind of outline my project. Look at my beautiful card. Isn't that so pretty? I just love it. When I created it, I had kind of in mind of it's a vase of flowers sitting on a wooden tabletop and maybe on a counter with the backsplash behind it. That's kind of what I envisioned when before I created it. That's what I had in my head. And I think it came out, it translated pretty well. I'm very, very happy with it. But I hope you like it, and I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did and you have not already, please consider hitting subscribe and ringing the bell. If you ring the bell, you'll get notice when future videos come out. We do have a new catalog coming out that is for August through December, and it's for basically our holiday special, and there are so many wonderful things in it. If you would like a catalog, please message me at the website that's listed above, and I will be happy to get one out to you. Thank you so much for joining me today. If you liked it, hit a like. I love when you share love, and I'll share love right back with you. So thank you so much, and have a great, great day. Bye.